This is breaking.
Yeah, Chris Paul's a free agent. So the report is, and Chris Haynes was the first to have it, that the Phoenix Suns have informed Chris Paul that he will be waived. Now, you don't see this a whole lot.
And when you wave somebody, it's usually not hello.
No.
It's usually bye-bye.
No. Larry Beal somewhere is like, waving means goodbye.
Baby, bye-bye-bye.
So he gone, and Nahigian comes over and sticks his head.
Of course.
He sticks his head in the studio, and he's like, hey, look. Chris Paul just got waived.
At the waiver wire, you should look.
But he says the exact thing all of us are thinking. He's like, I hate the guy, but for 1 year? And then turns around and walks out. And I'm like, exactly.
Best boss and worst boss ever in the same moment.
But it's so cringy. But that's what all of our heads do. When a big name player in the NBA suddenly is available, especially one you didn't see coming, you go, little Marge Simpson action?
Homie.
Good.
You're a special little guy.
Should he be on our team? And I'm like,
Maggie.
no, he should not be on our team. I joked with you. Warriors can release Ty Jerome. They've got their new backup point guard. His name is CP3. I'm a hard no. Now, I got to look. I haven't even had time to look at what this means financially when he's waived. Does that just mean the Suns are breaking him off whatever's left on the contract and he would sign somewhere for a vet min? I mean, if that's the case, if you're the Warriors, he might actually be exactly the kind of player, and I don't mean you need a point guard, but guys who are just like, yeah, vet min, veteran, I understand how to do it, I'll be there. But listen, all of those things, add them all up, stack them up for me, and I'm going to Jenga that thing. I say no to Chris Paul for two reasons. Reason number one, he's not that good anymore, / always hurt. Reason number two, my emotions only go so far. I do not want Chris Paul in a Warriors uniform because it's just wrong. It just is. It's just wrong.
Oh, but KD can come here and win a chip, and David West can come here and win a chip, but CP3 can't come here and win a chip?
Understand why I'm saying that. Not because, like, a big name is not supposed to come here. No, not that big name.
Oh, yes, that big name.
I can't stand him. He's one of my he's on my top 5 least favorite players in sports.
And that's a you problem.
Yes.
It's a you problem.
My opinion is the only one I can give you.
Right.
And so I personally...
You can represent the audience, and, I personally feel like...
No, the audience can react to us, and we can all have a conversation.
Mark? How can they react?
Well, they can call 888
Thank you.
957-9570. They can use the Comcast business text line unless they're driving, or they can look at us on Twitch and YouTube and see Dan Dibley's backwards hat and get ready for the game Who's Going to Cuss First.
Yes.
Which we play on YouTube.
And I'm usually minus 800 quietly, and you're plus 450 unless your mic gets left on, because quietly during the breaks, you can cuss a blue streak.
I get potty mouth.
On occasion.
That's when I let it out.
Yes.
I wait for the breaks.
I normally am with you in terms of CP3, but I look at the way this team is and the way this future is going in terms of the championship window. And if you could bring in CP3 on a vet min deal, they had a vet min this year who didn't do a darn thing for them. He played 4 games and he looked darn good in street clothes. So can you vet min your way on this team? And I think Chris Paul might be able to command more than that. But if you're CP3 and you want one last chance to win a title, why not come here? Be a 20-minute-a-night guy, play 60 games, be a veteran who you can turn to on a second unit in the playoffs. I'm in on Chris Paul, even though I feel the same way as you do about Chris Paul in terms of his career and who he's been, the flopping, the pouting, the ineffectiveness in April, May, and June. But on this team, in this moment, I'm in, Mark.
Yeah.
Bring him in.
So he signed a 4-year, $120 million contract that goes through this upcoming season. If I'm reading this correct, though, the base salary for the upcoming year is 15.8. So the Suns will just eat it. The Suns will eat it. Chris Paul probably would do a veteran minimum contract because I don't think it matters what he signs. I could be totally wrong on this. I'm not a cap expert. But I believe his salaries for next year's already set. Whatever the next team pays him simply gets subtracted out of what the Suns pay him. So he's getting
It's an offset.
He's getting the same money either way.
Shout out Migos.
So in fact, I would expect Chris Paul to sign a veteran minimum deal because it means nothing to him.
Right.
And it only helps the team he'd be joining. So if it were a veteran minimum deal, would you want Chris Paul on the team? Ugh.
Yes.
Yuck.
No, yes. Not yuck.
I can't
Yes.
stand watching him play basketball. I can't stand it.
But why? Because he's so effective in...
Is he? I mean, they're giving up
He's
on
very
the guy.
effective.
Not anymore. He's not that good anymore. He's rarely healthy. But
what do you need Chris Paul to be if you are the Golden State Warriors?
What do you need him to be?
Right. You need him to be...
an effective backup off the bench.
Right.
Yeah.
You need him to be like Ty Jerome plus.
I need him to stop playing like Dennis Schroeder with a Hall of Fame future. Like, stop falling down. Stop playing. I play a game of trying to get the officials to think something happened that didn't happen. And I know that everyone calls that hypocritical when you say it because they're like, wait a minute, Jordan Poole does it. Steph Curry, everybody does it. Sure, to a varying degree. What I don't see a lot of players in the NBA do the whole like, I'm just going to fall down on a screen even though I didn't even get touched. Literally fall down without being touched. And that's Chris Paul. And I'll also tell you this. Chris Paul is a locker room problem. There is a reason his teams underachieve. Now, the question would be, what happens if he comes to a team where he's not the leader? That's the question. And I'd be open to finding out that answer. I'd be interested, let's say, to find out that answer. But when Chris Paul is the leader of a team, his teammates do not like him. They do not like him, and he's not good enough anymore to pull that off.
Well, no matter where he goes, he will not be the leader of a team unless he goes to our favorite Orlando or Charlotte, or maybe he goes to Memphis and he's the OG in the room for Memphis. But if he comes here, he's not walking in saying, all right, I'm the leader. It's a new culture. Steve Curry and Kevin Thompson, right? Is that what it is? And David Green, it's my team now. I'm CP3. You better recognize. No, he comes in as a veteran, limping, looking to add on to a culture.
Wow.
And I don't think that I think that he could sublimate his ego in terms of being a team player and trying to win.
Maybe. My bet would also be, because players never think that they're declining, my bet would be is Chris Paul is not sitting here today going, hey, option A would be to go back up Steph Curry. Like Chris Paul, I bet, thinks he can still be somebody's starting point guard.
You think?
I would think.
You know, he's
That'd
the
be my
fourth
guess.
oldest player in the association.
I did not know that.
Right now.
Yeah.
This year. Can you name the three players older than him who played this year? Three guys played basketball this year who are older than CP3.
I feel like two of them are real quick answers.
Okay, tell me.
LeBron James.
You got that right.
Udonis Haslem.
You nailed it.
Okay. The last one is the tough one. Who's older
It's got Thank you, Grandy.
Who's older than Chris Paul?
Can't wait for him to get this wrong so I can put it right in his face.
Is it a big name or is it not a big name?
Do you need a clue?
Yeah.
Are you begging for a clue?
I'm begging.
Yes.
I ain't too proud to beg.
It's a big name.
It's a big name.
And in fact, it's a big name that I have said on this show, and up into the point where I stopped saying this name on the show.
Oh, see,
is that too much of a clue?
Games. Yeah. Okay.
I want
He played 8 games.
Iguodala. Okay.
Yes.
I thought he only played 4 games. Played 8 games?
He played 8, according to my basketball reference.
Right. There you go.
Other 37-year-olds, PJ Tucker and Taj Gibson. So CP3
Taj Gibson's that old? I feel like that happened fast.
That escalated quickly. You know what also happened fast?
What?
Goran Dragic is 36.
Is he really?
Yeah. Marky.
Yeah. He's been around for a minute.
I know, but
yeah.
Like if I said Garrett Temple's 36, he'd be like, whatever.
I don't even know that Garrett's still
exactly.
Who's Garrett?
Rudy Gay at 36, you would have thought he's 56.
Well, yeah. He looks 56.
Kyle Lowry still playing.
Kyle Lowry's a good one. Yeah. And what's Steph? 35?
I'd have to go down
35,
to.
Is Steph top 10?
No, he's 27th.
27th.
Yeah, and
tied
I don't know,
for 27th.
Yeah, well,
or is this actually used months and days?
They may actually break it down in months and days. He's right behind Kevin Durant and Nicholas Batum, and he's right ahead of DeAndre Jordan, who apparently still plays. DeAndre Jordan. You know who else still plays? Blake Griffin. He was on the bench in Boston, I saw.
Oh, my gosh. That's
crazy.
He's on the Celtics.
But to the point of the conversation, Haslam, he's done. Iguodala, we know he's done. LeBron, he'll never be done. CP3 next year will be the second oldest player in the association. So I do think that he's now at the point, shout out Karl Malone as a Laker, to where CP3 would look at his career and go, you know what? I'm paid in full. I'm a State Farm agent. You know, Jake and I are buddies. I would be happy to go there and play 15 minutes a night.
I don't know.
Dribble. Where is Steph?
All those other names on that list, are they just oozing with self-awareness? I mean, other than Haslam. Hell, you've made an entire career out of calling out Iguodala's lack of self-awareness.
I'd like to think my career was built long before that.
Do you think LeBron James is like, I'm getting old. Let's let AD shine?
But LeBron is still a G. He's still him.
He's not what he used to be. He's very good.
He averaged 28.9 a game.
He's not
this year.
He's not as dominant as he was in years past, or else the Lakers would not have had limped into the play-in tournament.
But if you said like Mike Jones, Mike Jones. If you said random name is 38 and he averaged 29 a game.
Oh, he's incredible.
I mean, we would be losing our mind.
He's LeBron, but he's not what
he's Tom Brady.
He's not what he was 7 years ago. I mean, peak LeBron was an automatic trip to at least the Final Four, simply by being on the roster.
Yes, but non-peak LeBron still averages 28-9, 8 and 7.
I did not say he's not still a very good player. He's a problem. He was a problem for the Warriors just 3 weeks ago.
Chris Paul averaged 14 and 9 in 32 minutes.
Chris Paul feels.
We all have our biases against Chris Paul, and I'm with you in terms of like, that guy. But you know what? 20 minutes a night of CP3, and he played 60 games last year. Same as Steph. Can you get CP3? What do we want for this team, Mark, going forward to next year? We want veterans.
Well,
we want men who know how to win games.
I want good basketball. I want the best teammates possible. I don't know that to be Chris Paul.
Would you rather have Chris Paul for a year or Jordan Poole?
Oh,
I'm sorry. You could at least say that's a good question, and I won't get credit for it.
It was a good question.
It's also a stupid question.
Gut punch, yeah.
That's the stupidest question I've ever heard. For next year.
Honestly, Jordan Poole. I'd rather have Jordan Poole. Yeah.
I'll say it again for the people in the back.
I'd rather have Jordan Poole
than
Chris Paul.
Next year.
Tweet that and see if that'll go viral.
Dude, it should, because you are categorically wrong.
Oh, my gosh. What do you mean I'm categorically wrong?
Well, it's your opinion, so you can't be wrong. I get that. Blah, blah.
No. Well, of course you can tell. Do you mean about which one I would pick?
No, I think for next year.
Like which one turns my stomach more? Chris Paul. Way more.
Of course.
Way more.
Of course. But who gives you a better chance to win a chip next year?
I don't think either of them are getting you that close.
I'm not asking you that, Steinmetz.
Well,
I'm asking you to pick one of the two.
Jordan Poole won a ring.
I don't have a strong opinion.
I'll say Jordan. He won a ring 11 months ago. Once Chris Paul won that ring, it was never.
He got a ring.
Yeah, exactly.
When he got married.
When the phone rang. Hello?
Oh, wait, I got a ring.
Oklahoma City Thunder. We'd like to buy you out. Let's go to George.
Yeah, thank you. He got a ring.
Let's go to George in Los Altos. George, what are you doing?
I'm sitting here scratching my bald head wondering why your wonderful partner thinks that Chris Paul could be second chair to anybody.
You know, he's right here, George. You can talk directly to him.
Talk to me, George.
He's got headsets on and everything.
Bro, I mean, really, you honestly think that a guy with the personality of Chris Paul, and going back to what you said, well, it's okay, Kevin Durant can come here and David West can come here, why not Chris Paul? Well, those guys didn't kick Steph off the court before a game so that Steph couldn't practice. Totally disrespectful. And when it comes down to the money, all the way down to the end where you really need him, he always seems to get hurt, and he doesn't deliver. He would be the last thing we need on our team. Frankly, we don't need another guard. Okay, we need a veteran presence with a rim protector, a big man to help on the inside to counter guys like Giannis, Jokic, and all the other bigs that are in the league. But no, man, Chris Paul, his personality would never, ever fit with the Warrior
Man, thanks, George.
Go ahead and rock that guy.
Just between me and you, George, you don't know Chris Paul. You don't know where he is in his career. And yes, he's at the end of it. And if he is a guy who is self-aware, and we all think that he probably is, he does not want to be Charles Barkley. He does not want to be Mark Jackson. As one of the greatest players in the history of the association, John Stockton, to never win a chip. He wants a chip. And so if you're chip chasing, you come here, you come off the bench, and you get it done, CP3. Let's go. Come home, Chris. Come home.
And in general, I also get triggered by teams that are like, let's gather all the 30-somethings, right?
That's what they're doing.
Chris Paul. No, it's not what they're doing.
That's what they want to do.
No, they're sticking with their own 30-somethings. They're not trying to add more. Like, when we say Jordan Poole for a vet, that does not mean Jordan Poole for a 36-year-old.
You don't have to trade for Chris Paul.
No, I know.
He's an add-on.
No, but you're saying this is what they want to add. And I'm like, no, it's not. I'm not looking for 36-year-olds. I'm looking for people who are willing to play the way the Warriors play.
He's 37.
Yeah.
Don't sell him short.
Yeah. Like, remember when the Lakers signed all the old guys and when they were on the cover of Sports Illustrated and everyone's like, look, Steve Nash, Kobe, Pau Gasol, they're terrible. They were terrible basketball team. You don't want that. We're presented by Fremont Bank, full-service banking, no compromises. Your calls are always welcome. 888-957-957.
He's actually 38. Sorry.
Just had a birthday, apparently, 2 minutes ago.
My fault.